It's time to jump into a game called Sekiro. Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. And to play in Let's Play and Chat, Adrian Talens is coming back up onto the floor. Let's give him a round of applause. He's going to need it because this game is brutally difficult. But he assured us that he plays Dark Souls.
I played Demon Souls and Dark Souls.
Great.
But that's been a few years.
All right.
I haven't played the sequel,
right.
so let's see how this goes.
So you're going to want to play off of this screen right here, which isn't ideal, but you can see it.
I guess I should pick that item up.
Yeah, pick the item up. There you go. And so we'll have the audio in there. So I want to talk a little bit about, and this is Let's Play and Chat. Everybody knows the deal. If you guys have any questions that you want to throw out about anything, same with the chat right now. Thank you all for joining us. And I see you there, Sam IM111 and Donnie S and Powder Keg and Blair Farrell and Wesley West. It's fantastic to see our Blade Blur. Thank you for being with us. Jordan Cunningham. If you've got any questions or comments, make it all caps for me to make it easier. But let's talk a little bit about this this recent phenomenon of 2 Captain Marvel movies out in theaters. And you know, Johnny was having a bit of a laugh there, talking about Shazam as the better Captain Marvel movie. I've seen a lot of people talk about these films with adoration and love, and I think that's great. I think that they should love these movies if they do. They should come from a place in their heart where they get a lot from these films. I gave them both about a 7. I found them both to be equally personally problematic, and it was mostly due to the way that they structured their first half of the film. Like the first hour in both Captain Marvel and Shazam is equally disappointing for me for different reasons. And one thing that I keep seeing in relation to Captain Marvel, sorry, it's so dark there, and Shazam.
It is Dark Souls.
It is Dark Souls-ish with the Samurai Show.
Yeah.
Yeah!
How do I roll, though?
I don't know if you can yet. I don't know. I didn't get that far.
That's where I'm going wrong.
I see them compared to superhero movies like Superman, the movie, the 1978 incredible piece of art that Richard Donner made for us. And my issue with the comparisons to films like that, or big even with Shazam, is that there have already been way better superhero films. And we are now in a saturated world where we have all of these different choices. And you know, I see some of the critical scores, and I'm not trying to tag anybody or slag anybody in their choice for what they like, but I feel like there's a danger if we say that these movies are as good as the best in the genre, because I really feel strongly that they're not. And I have seen every single one of I'm such a superhero nut bar that I've seen so many of these films multiple times over, and I don't mean to disparage anyone's taste in these flicks, but I feel like there's a danger that if we say that these mediocre movies are the best that we can produce, that's what Hollywood is going to continue to make for us. They're going to say, well, look, Captain Marvel made all of this money. This is as good as it needs to be. And I felt like it was kind of directionless, and Brie Larson was a little bit flat in the role. And Shazam was problematic. Yay! Shazam was problematic in the fact that the kids just didn't live up to the best that we've seen. And Warco just mentioned the Stranger Things kids, which are incredible, right? So we want to see that level of performance out of these movies, and we should expect that. I want to see more Dark Knights. I want to see more Supermans. I want to see more Avengers: Infinity War. I don't want to see more 7 out of 10 superhero stuff, because there's so much choice. They need to learn from the previous movies and exceed and excel. And so that's my thought. Shazam and Captain Marvel are okay, and they will be fun to watch again, and will be fun to see these characters evolve in sequels. But they're just okay, particularly in the face of all that competition. All right, question from Chris Kioski asking, what are your thoughts on Spielberg helping Apple sell their streaming service after his recent criticism of streaming media around the Oscars? Fantastic question, Chris. Blake and I were just chatting about that before we started rolling. I feel like young Steven Spielberg would not have any issue at all with, you know, claiming awards from streaming his work. But I feel like he is a political figure in the movie business, and the theatrical industry is probably appealing to his better angels to go out and speak on their behalf. I think that the theatrical business is struggling, and in the face of incredible competition, not just from streaming, but all the other entertainment options that are out there. So I think he's being used as a political figurehead. It is ironic, though, that a week after he's out there saying, "Boo, boo, we don't need awards for Netflix." But Apple, oh, yeah, let's talk about Apple's streaming service. It's a little, it's a little having a double-edged sword with those comments right there. Vic should switch seats if you got to play on the laptop. Yeah, that's probably a good point. Do you want to switch seats? Okay, we can do that, sure.
Oh, yeah, maybe we should switch seats.
Yeah, let's do it. There you go. You can be a bit easier.
You know what this reminds me of?
What's that?
Did you ever play Tenchu 2?
Oh, absolutely.
I loved that game.
Yeah, that was very good.
It
Did you die as often in Tenchu 2? Yes?
Maybe.
Well, this is good. Now you can hear my voice and Adrian's voice on both mics, and we can get a... Because tomorrow I think I'm going to make the call, so next show we'll have two of the same mics. But which one do you think sounds better? The other one? The Lawton?
Do I sound better?
Yeah.
Do I sound like Victor Lucas?
I sound louder on this one, but I don't know what it is. I don't know why. They're different EQs. Okay, question. Jamie Andrews asking, what can we expect on EPN this week? Nice to have you back. Great question, Jamie Andrews. We actually have some fantastic guests this week. On Wednesday, it's Corey Robson, who is a director of photography, and he worked on Arrow. He helped to set up the tone and the look and feel of Arrow. And he's working on a bunch of other new shows right now. He's a terrific guy, and I'm very excited to have him on. I want to dive into what it takes to kind of frame up and shoot these superhero shows. And speaking of superhero shows, on Friday, we have Dan Payne, who is an actor who's had a massive, huge credit list, but most recently people could have seen him as the live action human version of King Shark in The Flash, and he did a great job on that show. And it's really cool that we had David Hayter, who did the voice of King Shark, on EP Live, and now we're going to have the guy that played the live version of the character on Friday. And then next week we have Cloudhead Games, who you must know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're coming down to
the whole.
Well, we're having a couple of people from
cool.
Cloudhead coming on.
Yeah.
And then April, and then I'm still figuring out the 1st and the 5th for guests, and I'll make some announcements pretty soon. But on April 8th, Mike Wilson, the CEO of Devolver Digital, is going to be our guest right here, and he's going to have some awesome stories to tell. So yeah, I'm lining up some really, really fun people for all of April, and pretty soon we'll have some announcements, I think, around Sam Witwer being on the show, so stay tuned. Adrian Leon, Vic, are you going to see the new R-rated Hellboy movie and give us a review? Yeah, that comes out next week, so or April 12th, I think. So April 10th, yeah, we're definitely going to see that.
Seems cool.
Yeah, I miss the Guillermo del Toro Hellboys. Yeah. You know, that guy was awesome, and Ron Perlman was awesome. I feel like this is trying to cash in a little bit, but if Mike Mignola is signing off on this, because I've interviewed Mike Mignola a few times about his work and his collaborations with Guillermo on the Hellboy movies, he was never that thrilled, and I always found that fascinating. He's a very straight up guy, Mike Mignola, but I love the character, and I love what that we're seeing more. Let's see. Ty Fish. Happy birthday, Tyler. We missed giving you a shout out on the show, but happy birthday, buddy. Yay! The Donner cut of Superman is legendary. Hopefully WB lets Snyder have an honest run at DC without over-controlling him again and not let Dopey Whedon goofball it up. Snyder was just in the news talking about he wants to get his Justice League version out there. I happen to like what Joss Whedon did with Justice League. I know it wasn't the natural fit, but I think he made it more accessible. That's just me. Okay, let's see if there's any other comments or questions. Going to check out the new, R-rated. Jordan Cunningham. Hey, Vic, now that you've seen Captain Marvel, which MCU movie would you say is the worst? It's Captain Marvel. That's, I think, is the worst out of all the MCU movies. And I hate that that's the case, but I think that there was so much expectation on that movie and so much riding on the film to be, a legitimate piece of art, and I don't think it moved the needle at all. I think that it was It was safe, and it was even less thrilling than seeing Captain America: First Avenger for the first time, or Thor, definitely Iron Man. But that's after one viewing of the movie. I want to see it again. I think one movie that always gets bandied about as potentially the worst of the MCUs is the Hulk movie that Edward Norton was in. But I like that movie. It was such a cheeseball, B movie. It was fun to watch, and Norton was pretty cool. It's too bad that he, sabotaged his career with that. But yeah, I like that movie, and I like the Ant-Man movies. I happen to like the second Thor movie. I know a lot of people hate that thing, but I liked the crazy sci-fi that they were showing off in that movie. It was like, what? We're getting Star Wars now in the middle of this? I thought it was cool. Even there's stupid things in a lot of these movies, but I just felt like Captain Marvel just missed its mark. It missed its emotional punch. And I think a big part of that, as we said in our review, is the amnesia idea. We just didn't get to roll with this character and hang with her to see what her motivations were. We knew what made her want to become a pilot and then be kick-ass before the character did, and it was dull with her finding out about it, I mean, the action sequences are cool in that movie, but it's pretty forgettable. I want to see that again, and I want to see Shazam again. It's really hard to, my estimation of Justice League when I saw it in the theater was way less than when I watched it again a couple of times on 4K Blu-ray, and that happens with these things. But yeah, as I sit right now thinking of all of the MCU experiences that I've had, Captain Marvel was the most deflating, which sucks. I didn't want that. I like Brie Larson. I like the character. One last comment about Captain Marvel, then we're moving on. Nick Cage, he doesn't get to be the badass character, Nick Fury. I keep saying Nick Cage. Nick Fury doesn't get to be the badass character that Sam Jackson has built up throughout his career in that movie. He's kind of lame. He's like any FBI agent. And I just thought, wow, man, they had a chance to make not just the Captain Marvel origin story, they had the chance to make Super Agent Nick Fury as part of that story. And he's just like a pencil pusher in the thing. So that was disappointing. Okay. Any comments or questions from Marco? It was Silver Sable, I think, is tied in with Spider-Man. So they're going to have to work with Sony on that. And I think Ghost Rider has the Sony rights to it. The Fox deal has completely been done now. So we're going to see Fantastic Four, and we're going to see X-Men, and we're going to see Deadpool continue, and some of the other... the rumor is Galactus is going to be the next big villain in the MCU, which was a Fantastic Four kind of thing. But I think we're going to start to see a lot of those kinds of switcheroos. Yes. Yeah, and Silver Surfer is tied in, with Fox as well. Yeah, so we're going to start to see a lot of that. Those are going to be amazing. I want to see a Namor movie too, especially after Aquaman did so well. I think that could be really, really cool. It's going to get interesting. Ghost Rider. Marvel owns Ghost Rider again. Oh, okay, VR Grid saying Marvel owns Ghost Rider again. I read that we're going to see Daredevil and all of the Netflix shows are all going to be recast, rebooted. And I feel like Daredevil, they're probably going to bring that to the theater. I think that character is cool enough for them to make an MCU movie. I think that'd be pretty rad. And it'd be pretty rad, actually, if they built the Defenders as a film. I think that'd be awesome. Oh, he was so good. Yeah, love those. Okay, you guys, it is 5:30, and it is time for us to wrap up. How'd you do? Did you get anywhere?
How'd I do? Yeah.
Awesome to have Adrian on the show and to be the sacrificial lamb to play this game with us. It's incredibly difficult. That's about as far as I could play. And then I went back to Yoshi's Crafted World. It's like, oh my God, I'm so humbled. It's always great to be abused by a game, isn't it?
I like how these games demand 100% of your attention.
Yes.
It's just...
They're great for talk shows.
You can't just button mash.
That's
okay,
awesome.
cool.
Thanks, brother.
Thanks for letting me play.
Of course. Thank you for watching, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow with a new rundown for you. And then on Wednesday, please join us again for another exciting episode of EP Live. Lots of content on the channel for you to get caught up on, so please do that. And if you dig what we do, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. We've got cool merch in the store. You guys know the drill. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Play forever. Thanks, guys. Thank you very much.